How to avoid IRS dirty dozen tax relief scam number 6. Who do you trust to get your tax debt forgiven? Tax season is when scammers clean up by offering more value than they deliver. It's even worse than the lies told by politicians. Every year the IRS warns taxpayers about the worst of these scams. They are the notorious IRS dirty dozen. It's a two-pronged strategy by the IRS. First, the IRS gets to work on their image as being the good guys, and not your enemy. Second, the IRS is hoping to get more of your tax dollars coming to them, instead of to the scammers. In a minute we'll look at how to spot ghost scammers, but first let's look at the issues with getting your tax debt reduced. If you can't pay your tax bill without causing financial hardship, the IRS has the power to forgive part of your tax debt. The IRS does this with an offer in compromise. There are rules you have to follow to qualify for an offer in compromise, and you also have to negotiate the amount with the IRS. Most taxpayers don't know how to do this, and they feel uncomfortable about the process. They want help, to give them the best shot at reducing their taxes. The big question is, who should taxpayers turn to help them get tax debt relief? You may have seen those ads on late night TV, where they're offering to help you wipe away most of your tax debt. The IRS says many of these tax settlement companies like to use local advertising, where they tell lies about being able to disappear unpaid tax debt for pennies on the dollar. The IRS advises taxpayers to work directly with the IRS to get help with their tax debt. We would like to believe the IRS. But it feels a little like the fox guarding the henhouse. The IRS may have a conflict of interest. It's just hard to believe that the IRS will negotiate against themselves, to get you the biggest reduction in the amount of taxes you owe. So you can work directly with the IRS, or go through a potentially scammy tax settlement company. Is there a third choice? Yes, getting a second opinion could point you to the best option, before you agree to work with a tax settlement company. Chatting with an online tax expert could save you from a potential scam. One of the biggest risks is that a tax settlement company will take your money for their services, sometimes thousands of dollars, even if they know ahead of time that you will not be able to qualify for an offer in compromise. This is another of those fox guarding the henhouse scenarios. They do not have your best interests at heart. Tax settlement companies just want you to pay them, even if they know they can't help you. Now imagine paying a few dollars to talk to an online tax expert, to find out if you can qualify for an offer in compromise. By doing that first, you may avoid wasting hundreds, or thousands of dollars with a tax settlement company. That's because an online tax expert only charges a small amount for their advice, and is not trying to upsell you on more expensive services for negotiating with the IRS. You can also do your own homework. Just go to the IRS website and look for their offer in compromise pre-qualifier tool. If you think you qualify for an offer in compromise, then you can start comparison shopping for the best resource to help you through the IRS negotiation process. Just be wary of ghost preparers. These tax preparers tend to offer debt forgiveness or tax refunds that are too good to be true. They're easy to spot, because they won't have a valid preparer tax identification number. They will also probably refuse to sign your tax return, as the preparer, and that's another red flag. They also tend to charge you bigger and bigger fees for larger tax debt relief or larger refunds. To be safe, you should check your tax preparer's credentials and qualifications with the IRS Directory of Federal Tax Return Preparers. Finally, don't forget that this is a buyer-at-risk situation. As a taxpayer, you are legally responsible for what's on your tax return, no matter if it's prepared by a qualified tax preparer, or by a scam company. As always, do your own due diligence. And don't be afraid to ask questions and get answers from qualified tax experts.
To get help with your IRS tax problems and tax questions, please talk to a qualified tax expert. You can work with a CPA, or other tax professional, where you live. Or, if you'd like to get answers to your questions quickly, about your own taxes, you can chat online now with a qualified tax expert. Just click on the link in the description below this video.